Hi, I'm a caregiver who has navigated the behavioral health system for many years with a child who has complex needs. I've sat in many conversations with clinicians, educators, social workers, and peer supporters. I've answered hard questions on calm days and on days when everything felt like it was falling apart. I'm here to share what I wish assessors had done when introducing the CANs to my family. For many parents, assessments can feel routine, or parents can feel intimidated before we even begin. Even when we don't say it out loud, many of us worry about being judged or misunderstood, especially when this is not our first assessment. Some of us can feel conflicted, wondering if our parenting or family situation is making things worse. And we are afraid that what we share could be used against us instead of supporting us. How you introduce the CANs matters just as much as the questions you ask. Start by listening to our story. Really listen. Giving the family an opportunity to let you know what is going on will tell you a lot about where they need support. But more importantly, it will make them feel heard and not alone, especially in a time when most families can be isolated from family members and friends because their experience is so different from others. After that, you can introduce the tool in simple, clear language. Something like, "I can hear from our conversations so far that you really care about your child and that you're experiencing some very challenging situations right now. I have a tool called the CANs that helps us think together about what could be useful and best support your family. You're the expert on your child and family, and we want to capture as much of the picture as we can in order to help. I'll ask some questions about different topics and confirm some of the details from what you've already described. Some of the things I ask might not apply to your family situation, and that's okay." From the beginning, if we slow down and explain the purpose of the CANs in plain language, it helps families stay open to the conversation. It also helps to know that the CANs is not a permanent description of my child or my parenting. It reflects what is happening right now. I like to think of it as a map, not a report card. A map that shows where we are today, what strengths and needs are present, and what support might help us move toward our goals. Things change, families learn, and kids grow, and the CANs should change too. Some caregivers want to understand exactly what you're writing and how you're making decisions. Let the family know they will have the opportunity to review everything in the CANs before it is finalized. By explaining the action levels, we can help the families feel included rather than evaluated. Action levels do not have to be complicated. You might say, "We use numbers from 0 to 3. These numbers help us decide if support would be helpful and how quickly it's needed." Or, "Higher numbers don't mean something's worse. They mean support may be needed sooner." If you're working with younger children or if a family prefers a simpler explanation, comparisons can help. Once you know the family, you can connect action levels to something meaningful to them. Some assessors use colors or traffic lights to identify each number. Others use images like caring for a plant and how much water it needs. The key is to check in with the family about what helps rather than assuming. What matters most is inviting the families into the conversation. Strengths are another important area. As a parent, I want my child to be seen as more than their challenges, and having assessors recognize effort, progress, and resilience, even when needs were high, is vital. My most important advice is this: listen to the family's story before thinking about completing the CANs. When assessors listen first, then use that information when discussing areas of strength and need, the family feels supported. They can make clarifications, and it doesn't feel like an interrogation or evaluation. It feels like you are a team capturing where they are and creating a hopeful plan for moving forward. At the end of the day, the CANs is not just a form. It's a moment when families decide whether they feel safe being honest. When you listen and you explain what you're doing and you invite us into the decisions, the CANs reflects our lives more accurately. Families don't need perfection. We need respect, clarity, and to know our voices truly matter when decisions are made about our children.